Alright, Hazelmega here. I'm working on the Black Widow Galant VR4 today. What I'm going to do today is check the ignition timing. So I've never done this on, I never had to do this on a DSM before, or the Galant. The 2GB turbo does not have an ignition timing adjustment. Everything is all computer controlled. So you notice the cooling fan is on right now, so that means the engine is at operating temperature. So that's an important thing. You have to drive the car or warm it up enough where it's at operating temperature. So yeah, we're gonna go do this. I'm getting this car ready for Smog, and it has it dawned on me that I have never checked the ignition timing on this. I just kind of hopefully I put the crank angle sensor back properly when I assembled the car. So so here we go. So I'm gonna do it from the Chilton's manual here. Old Mitsubishi Chilton's manual. You see mine has gone through a battle here. I tried to look for it in the Galant manual. I can't find it, man. The book is just too freaking big, man. It says it's in like chapter 16, but for some reason chapter 16 is like gone or something. They moved it somewhere. Okay, so it's in the Chilton's manual. It's in 1-47, and I've already kind of figured out where everything is, and I read the VFAQ online, but I'm just gonna go through it. So this is from 90 to 94 vehicles with a 2-liter and 2.4-liter engine. So it should be pretty much the same thing, almost. So it says apply the parking brake and block the wheels. Run the engine until it reaches normal operating temperature. So it is at normal operating temperature. The fan is on right now, so hell, I just drove it here. The parking brake is on, and it's in my driveway, and it's not going anywhere, so that's good. That's step one. There's some weird steps in here that we really don't need. Make certain all lights, cooling fan, and accessories are off. Okay, so that's step number 2. So we want, actually, I did not bother to check that, so here we go. So lights are off. Oh, the fan is on there. It was on low, and that's pretty much it. You want to make sure there's like not a lot of load on the battery. Maybe you want to turn the radio. Well, the radio's like not playing anything right now, so that should be fine. Okay. So that's step number 2. Now position the steering lever in a straight position, and a head position, and gear selector lever in park or neutral. Okay, well, I don't have a gear selector lever, but I do have a stick shift, so it is in neutral, or else the car would be either stalled or it would have driven into my house right now. So, and to make sure the steering wheel is straight, that looks pretty straight. Okay, that should be good. So the reason they want it to be straight is if it's turned at all, it's putting load on the engine because of the power steering pump. So you want to make sure it's in the center. And then connect a timing light to the engine. Okay, so we're going to connect the timing light. So this is my old Sun timing light. It looks like a ray gun of some sort. Pew, pew, pew! So we're going to go connect that. So actually, to do that, we're going to have to take the spark plug cover off. Unless you know which one of those is the number 1 spark plug, I can't tell unless I take the spark plug cover off. So that's what I'm going to do next. So let's go get probably one of these guys will work. I think it's a 10. I apologize for that noise. That is the lever. It's rubbing on the hood somehow. That's more reason for me to get them hood struts, right? Is off. So I don't know. I don't know about that connect the timing light. Does it even tell you how to connect the timing light? No, it doesn't. Not really, but I'll show you how to connect the timing light. So, this cover, put that somewhere safe. And your number one spark plug is this guy right here. So it's gonna be this one right here. Number one. Right there. Okay. So, alright, so obviously you want to connect your negative to the negative terminal or any ground, and then you want to connect the positive to the positive on the battery, and then the timing, the pickup. Let me go untangle this first. Okay, I got the timing light hooked up. Negative to the negative terminal, positive to the positive terminal, and then the pickup is on spark plug number 1 right here. And there is an arrow, depending on your timing light, you want to clamp it with the arrow facing towards the spark plug. It says this side towards spark plug. So the spark plug is right there. You want it to be on number 1. Good. So we should be good to go with the timing light. It should turn on now. There we go. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because of the camera. Try to make sure the wires don't get caught anywhere, like in the fan or. Actually, we're going to be working on the right side of the engine, so let's move it to the right. And just make sure the wires aren't anywhere that they could get damaged or damage anything. Okay, so we just did number 4, connect timing light to engine, insert paper clip. Alright, so this is one we're going to kind of skip. We're not going to check I don't think there's a reason to really check the tachometer speed because we have a tachometer. I mean, they're saying to hook up a tachometer to the engine. There's a port here you can connect the tachometer up to. I don't have a tachometer lying around, and there's one inside the car, so I don't see. That's one step where you can skip. So anyway, check the curb idle speed. It should be 650 to 850 RPM. Now I don't have a digital reading on this, but just go inside the car to make sure your idle speed is correct. So right now we're about I would say about 700, 800 RPM. So I think we're good. And maybe you might want to, just in case, I don't know how much those bulbs are pulling, so make sure you close all your doors and stuff. That way that light on the dash isn't on for the door. The brake one will have to stay on. Okay, so we checked our RPM. It looks good. It's in within range. And then you stop engine and connect a jumper wire to the terminal for ignition timing adjustment to ground. So here it is. It's really hard to see. Actually, I think it's different. It may be different for the 1G Eclipse because according to this, the timing thing is right here somewhere. Because I can see the little resistor pack there, and then this is that relay they have in the picture. It's not any of those actually. I looked it up on Galant VR4 forum, and it's actually this wire right here, right next to the reservoir for the clutch master cylinder. So there you go. They said it's about the size of your thumb, and that looks about the size of your thumb. So it says to shut the engine off first. And then shut the engine off, and then ground that. So if you pull this cap off, some cars don't have the cap anymore, but there is only one pin in there. It looks like there's two. Well, there's really only one, as you can see right there. So go ahead and get a jumper. In this case, I will be using my these alligator clips. And it fits in there perfectly. So go ahead and make sure you get it in there all the way. Oh geez, there's this little rubber rubber gasket dealie too. Yeah, that wants to come off. Just make sure. So here, this is what you're working with in there. So you can see there's one pin. Sorry, the wire's in the way. There's one pin in there. So you want to make sure you get the alligator clip. See, there's that kind of like center divider thing. You want to clamp it, clamp the alligator clip on that and the pin. That's what I'm going to go do right now. Okay, that should be good. And then ground it somewhere. So, since this is where all the other ones are going, I guess I'll ground it right there. Okay, this is pretty good. Alright, so now what? So remember, it says stop the engine, then start the engine. Start and run the engine at curb idle speed. Check the basic ignition timing and adjust if necessary. The basic ignition timing should be 5 degrees before top dead center. So where we're checking, sorry I don't have a flashlight, but where you're checking is right there. So on the crank pulley, there will be a notch, and then see that kind of block on the top. That's where you adjust the timing. It looks like it's kind of a ways off. Looks like the belt will get in the way, but I'll show you how to aim it and then go from there. All right, we'll fire it up. Just make sure that the idle is proper before we start, and it's not. That's at 1,000 RPM. Just wait for it to kind of settle to where it should be. Okay, if it kind of won't go back down to where you want it to go on the RPM, just flip the throttle a couple times. Make sure that the throttle is closed. You need to adjust your cable, man. Okay, there, it looks good now. Alright, so now it's time to check. So now with everything connected proper, time to go check. And actually I just checked it right now, and it's actually not that hard though. I thought I would need a flashlight, but this is actually a flashlight. Alright, so there you go. So kind of aim the gun at the crank pulley in there, and then you can see where it is. I'm actually retarded a little bit. Yeah, I'm at like 3 almost. You can see right there. What you can do to help spot the timing pointer is you can put some whiteout on it, and I think I did that before because I can see it. I can see that I put some whiteout there. So there it is. So there it is. See? So I'm actually. So you see, there's a 10, there's a hash mark, and a T. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking I gotta get it in between the 10 and the T. So we're at about 3 before top dead center. We're retarded is what we are. Doesn't sound right, but so to adjust that, you loosen the crank angle sensor here. I think it's 2. I'm not sure. Well, this is the bolt that stops it right here. So go ahead and loosen this, and I think you loosen this, and then you just adjust it. So I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I guess you can kind of play with it. I would wear gloves too. It's kind of hot too. Kind of play with it, and then and get it to where you want it. You might be able to do it with your hands. So it was on set. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So like I said, I'm at 3 before top dead center, you saw there earlier. I need to bump it up to 5. Okay, so I went and adjusted it. I loosened it, and it was really hard to move that crank angle sensor. So what I did was I pushed down on it with like a screwdriver, this guy, and it moved it a little bit, and then I checked it again. It's really hard to move. I don't know why. Probably because I put a new O-ring in there. So there, and you can see closer to 5 before top dead center. Now. There it is. There you go. You see, it moved it a little bit up now. It's important to have that. It's important to have that where it's supposed to be at top 5 before top dead center for emissions. Because if it's not set properly, your NOx gases will be off. The EGR. If you advance the timing, it increases your NOx. If you retard the timing, it lowers it, but then the car runs like shit. So actually, my car should be running a little. I should have a little more power now. It was a little bit off. It was at 3. So there you go. That's how you check it. And then yeah, and then just put everything away after. Cool deal. Let me swing out. Yeah, just make sure that you tighten this. What I did is I loosened the nut back here and right here. I don't know if you have to do this one, but I know that one you definitely have to do. Like that. Alright, that's how you do it. So make sure 5 before top dead center and you're squared away. Alright, here's my guy.